Hi, it's Yankor again. Okay, so we used specifically these discs to reallocate ourselves in different planets or wherever you want to go. You stand on the disc, see where you want to go, see yourself there, and you're there. It's simple. That we studied and learned, of course. Then there's Satcha that still existed during that time. Satcha is, Jesus, she's probably one of the oldest in existence. I mean, she was there since the beginning when I was small. She's really the one that remained. It's fascinating through everything. So she was the one responsible for, showing the children the galaxies and things like that. During that time, I was still small. So only the older children could go on the spaceships, and travel different galaxies, different universes, different planets, etc. I was still the one only learning the information of it. But I've never actually seen one. So I went with my friend and we did the whole disc reallocate their planet thing. And I was there for quite a while. Until finally, one day, spaceship arrives. Spacecraft. We don't call it spaceship, spacecraft. It was beautiful. Magnificent. I just wait. I have to go on to it. But what's strange is these races never really stopped at planets. They never really, stopped their ships on planets. It's strange, so I figure out a way of how the hell I'm going to get onto one of those things. Because I want to get on it. I want to experience myself on it. Then I realized, well, this plan of mine is not going to work. I'm not going to get onto the ship like this. I have to find a different way. So, I realized one thing that exists is patience. Because I know inevitably I'll be old enough to have Satya take me on the ship to visit other planets and other galaxies. So let me first get to know existence from that perspective. Then, when I'm old enough, I'll create my own spaceship. Why not? I don't know how I was going to do it. I don't know how it would be possible, but I knew that's what I'm doing. So, I said fine. I went back to my planet and remained there until I got older. It's strange. It's not that time exists. You expand according to your knowledge and information intake and how you apply that in your daily life, and what it is that you do, and how you show and how you assist others to understand what it is that you're able to do. That's how you age. But it's a natural occurrence, so it happens automatically. Age from that perspective, or growing up from that perspective, is never really an issue for anyone. For me, of course, it was. So I did my best to grow up as fast as possible. Then the time came where Satya finally said, right, first day, going to go and explore the universes, the galaxies, the planets. She had this big spacecraft, but it wasn't really a spacecraft. It wasn't one that I would have gone, oh yes, this is the one I'd like to experience myself on. No, it was more, it was a round, flat spacecraft. It was, of course, fucking huge. Spacecraft, flat. Then you were able to stand inside it. It had for you to be able to stand in, you have what do you call it? You have these boats that you climb inside it, and you just got the edge around it, and you can still look outside. Okay, and I'm not taking it into comparison with that boat. I'm just saying what you're able to do when you climb into that spacecraft. So you climb in, it's huge, flat, round, and that's where you move on. And then from there, she traveled with us to different planets. First thing Yankor asked was, Satya, take us to the planet with all the spaceships. Then she said to me something interesting. She said, usually planets with spacecraft races that exist in spacecraft don't have planets. Said, but that doesn't make sense. Where do they come from? And they said the spacecrafts are in the manifestation of a being. Now, how does that work? Because spacecraft is a spacecraft. I'm going to be a being. She said, how else do you think spacecrafts are developed, Yankor? I was saying, but common sense would probably be that they're building it off something. I mean, what are planets in exist of? Planets beings. You won't believe the bloody answer. It says to me, yes. Planets are also beings. I was like, what? So you're telling my planet is a being? Well, why doesn't it speak then? She said, have you ever spoken to it? Of course. I said, no. I said, why doesn't it speak to us? Because such a thing, it doesn't need to speak. So I started learning more about what it is this universe actually started consisting of. Then, there was how the hell did that happen to be beings? And then apparently it had something to do with the Anunnaki imprisoning beings who had done something to their race and their planet, and they manifested them as beings, as a prison for the remainder of their existence, on which other races are able to make their living and things like that. So it's quite interesting. Now, on the spacecraft topic, so I said to her, now, I want to go on one of those. Please. She said to me, no, you're not ready yet. I did not accept that answer. So, now, I knew during that time was a being with connections. He rarely went to school. It's not really that it was school, it was more you learned about your existence, And he was really there, because his father, his family-based placement, they were seen as the most important beings in existence. Not like kings or gods or governors, like government thing like you have here on earth. No, they were just important, because they were the creators. So they were seen as the creators. Of course, to me, it was irrelevant. I just saw everything as what it is, what it was. But Anu's placement was specific. So I went to give Anu a visit. Now, Anu was like, he was, those nerdy scientists you'd get, always in the basement developing things, creating things. Yeah, that was him. He seemed innocent. But I had fun with him. I enjoyed him. He was quite smart. He created and manifested quite interesting things. He always wanted to take it one step further. He always wanted to be better than someone else the whole time. So he'd always advance in his explorations and manifestation and creations. So I went to him because I knew him and his father and his family and things, the most connections to all the galaxies and universes and planets. So I asked him, Anu, I want to get on a spaceship, goddammit, take me on a fucking spaceship. And he just looked at me and he said to me, I'll arrange. Thank God. So, what he arranged for me was this small little spaceship, really small. And he said to me, I can have it. Because this was like the real old models. This is your first one. So it was quite an interesting expression. So I will tell you about the history of my first spaceship a bit later.